I'll be reading Math Curse by John Sisky and Lane Smith. I will also be reading this book during my read aloud. Just looking at the cover, there's a lot of equal signs, plus signs, numbers, question marks, a lot of math terms or math symbols. And on the back, there's even more numbers. And I'm just wondering, will all these math-related symbols be used in this book, or is it just something he's been cursed with? And you can also see him all the way in like a daze. Let's figure it out. It starts off, on Monday in math class, Mrs. Fibonacci says, you know, you can think of almost everything as a math problem. On Tuesday, I start having problems. I wonder what kind of math problems he will have. Let's see. I wake up at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. Suddenly, it's a problem. If my bus leaves at 8 o'clock, will I make it on time? How many minutes in 1 hour? How many teeth in one mouth? I look in my closet and the problem gets worse. I have 1 white shirt, 3 blue shirts, 3 striped shirts, and that 1 ugly plaid shirt my Uncle Zeno sent me. How many shirts is that altogether? How many shirts would I have if I threw away that awful plaid shirt? When will Uncle Zeno quit sending me such ugly shirts? I'm getting a little worried. Everything seems to be a problem. Now I'm thinking, how can I relate to him? I wake up at a certain time and I need to decide how long it'll take for me to get ready before I can catch the bus. And I also, like him, look at my closet and decide what I want to wear. And I can think of many combinations of clothes that I could wear. But I don't go thinking like he does. He probably thinks that draws it all out and uses this as a curse from his teacher. Let's continue. I take the milk out of my cereal and wonder, how many quarts in a gallon? How many pints in a quart? How many inches in a foot? How many feet in a yard? I don't even bother to take out the cereal. I don't want to know how many flakes in a bowl, but Mrs. Fibonacci has obviously put a math curse on me. Everything I look at or think about has become a math problem. Ooh, I wonder what other math problems he will have throughout the day. He just started his day, and he's already had problems with math from getting ready, picking out clothes, and eating breakfast. I wonder what kind of problems he will have at school. I try to get on the bus without thinking about anything, but there are 5 kids already on the bus. 5 kids get on at my stop, 5 more kids on that at the next stop, and 5 more get on at the last stop. True or false, what is the bus driver's name? Now he's not even thinking straight. True or false, what is the bus driver's name? That doesn't even make sense. I think the math is getting to his head. Page. The whole morning is one problem after another. I saw this coming. One after another. There are 24 kids in my class. I just know someone is going to bring in cupcakes to share. We sit in 4 rows of 6 desks in each row. What if Mrs. Fibonacci rearranges the desks to make 6 rows, 8 rows, 3 rows, 2 rows? I count the 24 kids in our class again, this time by twos. Jake scratches his paper with 1 finger. How many fingers are in our class? Casey pulls Eric's ear. How many ears are in our class? The new girl, Kelly, sticks her tongue out at me. How many tongues in our class? I'm about to really lose it when the lunch bell rings. I'm guessing anything he can think of is a math problem. If someone would say, I'm combing my hair, he'd probably be like, I wonder how much hair follicles are in your head. How many? He'll probably even stretch it further and say, I wonder how many hair follicles are in the whole class. And I've also noticed that so far, all he's asked is math problems. He hasn't been able to solve anything. So I wonder if he'll be able to solve a math problem as we go. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Reading on. Unfortunately for me, lunch is pizza and apple pie. Each pizza is cut into 8 equal slices. Each pie is cut into 6 equal slices. And you know what that means. Fractions. We haven't studied fractions yet, so I take 12 carrot sticks 3 at a time and eat them 2 at a time. In the afternoon, every subject is a problem. Social studies is a geography problem. The Mississippi River is about 4,000 kilometers long. An M&M is about 1 centimeter long. There are 100 centimeters in a meter and 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Number 1, estimate how many M&Ms it would take to measure the length of the Mississippi River. 2, estimate how many M&Ms you would eat if you had to measure the Mississippi River with M&Ms. Bonus, can you spell Mississippi without any M&Ms? I still haven't seen an answer yet. And most of his questioning now, I'm thinking, some of them doesn't even have to do with math. He's just, I guess, curse, as you would say, and it's just thinking of random questions that don't even apply to math. Let's read on. English is a word problem. If mail plus box equals mailbox, does lipstick minus stick equal lip? Does tuna fish plus tuna fish equal fauna fish? Now he's turning words into a problem. I've also done that before. I haven't done that before, but just reading this, I've been stressed so much where I just can't even think straight. So I'm assuming he's really, really stressed. So let's keep reading. In art, we finally get to relax with the connected dot picture. Here's my picture. I wonder if he's going to turn his art into a math problem. Too bad it turns out to be a connect the ancient Mayan numerals picture. Now he's connecting everything. He's even turned art into math. Keep going. We are just about to go home when Rebecca remembers the special birthday cake her mom made. There are 24 kids in the class. Rebecca has 24 cupcakes. So what's the problem? Rebecca wants Mrs. Fubinachi to have a cupcake too. Everyone is going crazy trying to figure out what fraction of a cupcake each person will get. I'm the first to figure out the answer. I raise my hand and tell Mrs. Fubinachi I'm allergic to cupcakes. See? Math has driven him so crazy he doesn't even want cupcakes. He doesn't even want to deal with fractions. Everyone, 24, believes me and gets 1 cupcake. No one, 0, has to figure out fractions. Since there's 24 kids, 24 cupcakes, his teacher wants a cupcake as well. He doesn't even bother with the fractions. He just says he doesn't want any. I've thought about a time where I've been stressed out and I just don't even want to deal with it. Instead of trying to figure it out, I just give up and let it go. I wonder if anyone else can relate to that. Oh, now he's talking about money. Now this is important because we use money in everything we do. Let's see what he says about money. I stagger out of school. I'm a math zombie now. I have to find something to break this math curse. I decide to try chocolate. My favorite candy bar is usually 50 cents. But guess what? Today it's on sale for 50% off. He even has this formula. Look at this formula. I don't even know what that is. I don't even think he's thinking straight. I'm not even sure you'd use that to find 50% off, but I could be wrong. Within that formula, A is the number of letters in your first name, B equals your age, and C equals your shoe size. I decide to buy licorice instead. He doesn't even want chocolate. He wants licorice now. I wonder if he will ever figure out the answer to this math problem. I pull out my money. I have a $5 bill and a $1 bill, a quarter and a penny. George Washington is on both the quarter and the $1 bill. Abraham Lincoln is on both the penny and the $5 bill. So which is true? 1 Washington equals 25 Lincolns. 5 Washingtons equal 1 Lincoln. 1 Washington equals 100 Lincolns. Or 1 Lincoln equals 20 Washingtons. Don't forget to show your work. Extra credit. How do you know Thomas Jefferson's feel about all of this? Again, that has nothing to do with math. He's just not thinking straight. Picture of George Washington, Lincoln. Alright. I am now a raving math lunatic. What if this keeps up for the whole year? How many minutes of math madness would that be? What's your problem, says my sister. It's 365 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes, I snarled. Dinner brings no relief. While passing the mashed potatoes, Mom says, "What your father says is false." Dad helps himself to some potatoes and says, "What your mother says is true." I think about that for a minute. If what Mom says is true, then what Dad says is false. But what if what Dad says is false, then what Mom says isn't true? Wow. And now I'm really confused myself. Let me reread that. Dad helps himself to some potatoes and says, "What your mother says is true." I think about that for a minute. If what Mom says is true, then what Dad says is false. But if what Dad says is false, then what Mom says isn't true. And what if Mom says isn't true, then what Dad says isn't false. But that can't be true because he says that what Mom says is true, and she says that what he says is false. Wow. Did you get all that? Can that be true? I undo 8 buttons plus 2 shoelaces. I subtract 2 shoes. I multiply times 2 socks and divide by 3 pillows to get 5 sheep. Remainder 1, which is all I need to count before I fall asleep. Then the problem really begins. I wonder if he's actually going to have a real problem to solve. Or will he always be cursed? Because the problems he's making up in his head, I don't even know where he's getting this from. Alright, while he's sleeping, I dream I'm trapped in a room with no doors and no windows. The room is covered with a lifetime of problems. I have only one piece of chalk. How do I get out? I'm about to give up and die when the answer to my problem comes to me. Fractions. I break the chalk in half. Then I put the 2 halves together. 1 half plus 1 half equals 1 whole. Looks like he finally solved one of the problems he has, and it ends up being fractions. When we were reading earlier, every time there was a fraction, he'd just give up and not even try. Now he looks like he's finally solved it. Do you think he's broken the curse? Let's see. I put the hole on the wall and jump out. I'm free. Looks like he's broken the curse. I wake up Wednesday morning at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. My bus leaves at 8 o'clock. What time will I be ready? 7:41. No problem. Looks like he's broken the curse. He's figured everything out to all his problems. I bet I know how he feels. I've had times where I couldn't figure things out, but once I figured one problem out, everything else was a piece of cake. Alright, ow. I've broken the math curse. I can solve any problem. And life just gets great until science class when Mr. Newton says, "You know, you can think of almost everything as a science experiment." Uh-oh. You know what that means? He's going to turn everything in life to a science experiment. I wonder how he'll deal with that curse. Well, this was my book that I read, The Math Curse. I will also be reading this during my read aloud, and I hope you like it.